10. Love-hate. Cat grabbed the camera from me and held it in the palm of her hand. When you took that last photograph, she said, in the queue for the tickets, you must have put it away in your jacket pocket without thinking, Ted. I reached my hand over to take the camera back. She held it away from me. How did you feel, Salem, she whispered, as if she was in the room, when you realised you'd got into the pod without your camera? I tried to take it again. She slapped my hand away. Keep away, Ted, it's my find. Typical Cat. One moment she's saying how brainy I am, and the next she's assaulting me and telling lies. Predicting what Cat is going to do next makes predicting the weather seem easier than counting to 3. Cat is not only more unpredictable than the weather, she's also more unpredictable than volcanic interruptions or lunatics or terrorist attacks. It's the fact that her name sounds like the first syllable of words like catastrophic, cataclysm, catatonic. In other words, Cat is a walking disaster story, which is what Cat says about me when I drop things, but I think it applies more to her. But sometimes when you least expect it, Cat is nice. When I was small, she'd read stories to me about her talking bears and magic wardrobes and take me over to the pond in the park to show me the ducklings. At school, she'll stick up for me in the playground when the rough boys pick on me. Mum says we have a love-hate relationship. She says that when I was a baby and Cat was 2, she found Cat leaning into my buggy one day and kissing me all over my face. Maybe I squirmed because the next thing Cat did was grab a hairbrush and thump me on the head. Mum had to drag her away from her to stop me murdering. When we got older, Mum was always telling us to play nicely. Cat's idea of nice play was to line up her naked Barbie dolls with their savage haircuts and strange biro markings and play hospitals. She used toilet rolls as bandages and cut them with nail scissors and squirted tomato ketchup on them. She would tell me to help her as the patients were dying. Please pass me the scalpel, she'd order me. What scalpel? Any scalpel. I looked about. There's no scalpel. A pretend scalpel, Ted. There's no pretend scalpel, Cat. There is. It's right by your hand. Cat, there's no scalpel right by my hand. Only a toilet roll. You're supposed to be the nurse, she shouted. I blinked. The nurses are supposed to be women, and I was a boy. I couldn't be a nurse. Try to play, Ted, Mum said, looking on. So I went nee-naw, 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 and turned the lamp switch on and off. And after that, I always was the ambulance. But Cat always wanted me to be the nurse, and maybe that was why she went on being angry with me. Then my syndrome was diagnosed by the doctors. Why does he have to get all the interesting diseases, she moaned to Mum and Dad. I don't remember what they replied. Right now, Miss Catastrophic was examining Salem's camera, and I swallowed the hot, huffy feeling I had back down my esophagus. He used up 18 shots, she said. He kept clicking as we crossed over the bridge, remember? He took one of you and me, Cat, and I took one at the eye just before the strange man came up and gave us the ticket. The strange man, Cat said, looking up. I wonder. I nodded. I'd been wondering about him too. Do you think these pictures might be a clue, Ted? I don't know. I tried to touch the camera one last time, but again Cat snatched it away. She turned its sleek silver sides around in her hand. I wish it was digital like Dad's, he said. Then we'd be able to see the pictures now with this old-fashioned kind. You've got to open it somehow. She shook the camera and shrugged. Don't know how you get the film out, just take it to the camera shop to have it developed. It costs money and you have to wait. What a palaver. She started fingering buttons and shaking it. I think we should give the camera back to Aunt Gloria, I said, because she is Salem's next of kin. What's that got to do with it? Cat said. I was about to explain how the next of kin inherits the property of people who have died and how perhaps this also applies to the property of people who've just disappeared. When the doorbell rang, Cat and I jumped up. Salem, Cat said. She dropped the camera on the bed and we ran out of the room and down the stairs. But in the hallway, just coming in through the front door, which Mum was holding open, wasn't Salem. Only 2 grown-up people, a man and a woman. The man was in uniform, the woman wasn't, and this meant the opposite of what you might think, that the woman was in charge. This was because she was a plain clothes. He wasn't. It was the police.